Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back to start another reading vlog, which is basically another weekend in quarantine. I think this is my fourth weekend in quarantine. It's my third week doing working at home with my kids. So this is my fourth weekend, which I really have avoided been going out of the house. I did go to the bank this week. That was like the only activity I did that was like not at my house, but I have been staying active. I've been doing like a bunch of like virtual things. Like I go to yoga class every single day, or at least I try to. But I'm just going to film this vlog while we're here and while I'm hopefully to have more content for you guys. But this reading vlog is going to be over Easter weekend, which for us, we don't really do anything during Easter anyway. Like we normally maybe have some people come over and say hi. That's obviously not going to happen this year. But I did wind up getting a lot of my work done, like a lot of my prep stuff. I talked about in my last couple of reading vlogs that I really, my goal for this whole week was to prep myself for the end of the year if this social distancing and the closure of schools make me teach at home for the rest of the year. So I was able to do that, which makes me feel a little bit better prepped for the rest of the year so I can really like kind of relax a little bit because I know that I'm at least prepped, and hopefully they keep telling us any day the decision is going to be made. I honestly will be surprised if we go back, but wouldn't shock me. Right now, social distancing is in effect until the end of April, which means we could potentially go back in May and June, but at this point I just don't know. But enough about that. I also did I have been playing more video games. I played Animal Crossing today. I bought Spyro, which I really wanted to buy like for a couple of months, and I just wound up buying it. So I played that for a couple of minutes. I also wound up finishing listening to Tales of the Beetle of the Bard by J.K. Rowling, and I made some progress on Sisters of Sword and Song. So this is going to be a weekend reading vlog that I'm going to take you along on everything that I do. Right now I'm on page 28 in this. It's not long. I did wind up starting this late last night, and I just wind up never like making any progress on it. But I really do like this. I'm not far enough to tell you guys enough about it, but it follows two characters, two sisters, and one sister has returned home um, from a location with a secret, and she's kind of telling her sister what's going on. But the world building reminds me very, very much of like Athens, Greece, which is actually funny because I've been teaching my kids about ancient Greek theater for the past couple of weeks. I really do like the characters. This is also the author that wrote The Queen's Resistance, or The Queen's Rising, and I do have that book, so if I actually wind up liking this one, I will probably pick it up. This is also a standalone fantasy, which is so hard to come find in the YA drama. Normally, fantasy books are like 2 or 3 books or more, but I'm really liking it. I'm really liking these characters, and it's definitely like a read that I really want to fly through, which is why I was also, this week I was also reading Chosen by Veronica Roth, but I wound up putting that down until the week because I really just want to read this and just kind of read this, and that's really the only thing I want to do. I also am watching some videos in the background, which is something that I always do, and I want to spend this weekend catching up on This Is Us, so I really want to spend today like catching up on all my YouTube videos, so I have none for this weekend. That was a very, very chatty opening, sorry, but I'm going to go back and read Sisters of Sword and Song, and when I get to page like 50, I will come in and give you guys like more of like a comprehensive like summary of this book. I said a little bit in my past reading vlog, but none of those things have happened yet. So all I know right now is it follows two girls. It's a fantasy world, and the fantasy world has to do with gods. And if you descend from gods, you're more likely to have magical abilities. And people that don't have magical abilities can acquire these relics from the gods. And a lot of the relics from the gods are missing, and no one has seen them. And this particular family is descended from a god that was banished, which means they can't, it's unlikely that they will like contract powers because the god turned his back on the other gods. I think is kind of like the impression that I'm getting. And you have one character who went to school to be a warrior, which is Hallison, and then Eva. I'm gonna call her Eva because her name's a little bit complicated to say Eva. Is a girl that has no powers, I think, but she's always a dreamer that she will. And this book does focus on sisterhood and friendship. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll update you guys when I get about page 50. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's about 5:30, and I did get up to page 50 in Sisters of Sword and Song. Really, I'm liking this book. It's definitely like a dual perspective novel. We're definitely learning more about the world. We have gone more into Hallison's character. Hallison is the character that was trying to return home, but something happens that kind of affected it. So now she's kind of on the run from both her family and the people that are chasing her. And we're kind of uncovering what has been happening. It says it in the back of the book, so it's not like a massive spoiler, but she does do something that kind of gets her in trouble with the people that she was with. She was basically training to be a warrior, and something has happened. I think there's also something she was doing. I'm not sure what happened, like why she did what she did, but I think that's going to be oncoming. And then the other point of view we get is her sister, and I think she's going to try to find her. We're also learning a lot about the world building, and I'm just really, really captivated by it. This cover is so pretty as well, but I'm really, really liking it. It's a very, very rich fantasy book, but one that's like really easy to read. It's very, very easy to follow. This book does address a lot of gods, which I'm really, really liking. I'm loving the sister dynamics. We're also talking about the past. Really, really fun read. So I'm gonna go read about 50 more pages, and then I'll check in with you guys. I'm also watching some Owl Crate unboxings. I did get the box that they're unboxing, but I love watching Corey. I think she's just so fun. So yeah, I'm going to go back to watching that, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's about 7 o'clock. I did actually wind up falling into a reading sprint with Corey from Owl Crate, and I actually got a bunch of reading done. So when I left you, I was on page 50. I'm now on page 102 in Sisters of Sword and Song. I'm really, really liking this book. I think that this is probably one of my favorite fantasy reads that I've read recently, other than the Queen of Air and Darkness series. It definitely has massive Hunger Game vibes to me, but also like very like mythology based. But I don't want to give too much away, but it basically is on the back. So I'm not giving away anything that's not on the back, but if you don't want to know the back of this, then fast forward a couple of seconds. But basically this book follows two characters, Hallison and Evadine, or Eva. And Hallison was sent away for 8 years to become like a warrior, after she protected her sister, Everdeen, from a situation. And then on the eve that she is supposed to return to her family to like visit them again, something happens and she is basically convicted of murder. That's like literally in the first like couple of pages of this book, or the first 50 pages. And then there is a trial, and she gets a very, very harsh sentence because the person she kills is her commander's officer, and she did two things wrong. She killed someone and then she ran, and being a coward in this world is not a very, very good thing. So she's basically put on trial, and she winds up getting a very, very harsh sentence. She winds up getting like 15 years in 3 different environments, and Everdeen decides to step up and basically take half her sentence. So now she will have 10 years, and Eva will have 5 years, as a servant in her commander's house. Basically, I'm really curious to see how this book goes. I'm loving both perspectives. I really don't know which perspective I like more. Evadine is more of a character that is very, very focused on the fantastical. She really does want to be like have magical powers in this world. And Hallison's character is just super interesting. I think that there's still a mystery there to be unraveled, because that's what it's coming up to me right now. Like that's what it appears to be, but I don't know what that mystery is. But I'm really, really enjoying it. This book is like a little bit over 400 pages. I'm really gonna try my hardest to make some progress on it tonight. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm really, really enjoying this book. Right now I'm really loving both perspectives. I can't wait to see what happens next, and I will give you guys an update when I get up like 50 pages more. So 250, I'll give you guys another update. Bye guys. Hi guys, Laura here. It is about 7:30, and I did wind up getting up to the second part of this book. I'm not sure how many parts there is, but there is definitely a second part. I did get to that, so I'm on page. I think it's like 120. I'm really liking this book. I'm really curious to see where Evadine's journey is gonna go, and I'm curious to see if we're still gonna see Hallison in her setting that she is, because they are gonna be separated. One of my predictions did come true, and I'm really, really like that. I'm really curious to see how that develops. I really like how the myths are becoming a more important part of this book. This is also a standalone, which I'm really excited about, so I want to see, like, where I think this story is going to go. But Everdeen is going on an adventure now. We're going to a new location, I'll say, and I'm curious to see what she's going to face there. I thought the dynamics between her parents were really, really interesting. And this book has a longer timetable than most YA books. The normal YA books that you're given, they say like 6 months or a year. This is a 5-year time span, so I wonder if this whole book is going to take place over 5 years or if it's going to be a lesser amount of time. We will just have to wait and see, but I'm going to dive in and I will come back at you guys when I get up to page like 150 or maybe like 200. We'll see. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's about 10 o'clock. I did actually wind up doing an unexpected yoga class. The one good, well, not the one, the one interesting thing about quarantine is they've been like live streaming all my yoga classes. So I've actually taken much more yoga classes than I normally do because I don't have to leave my house and they're all live streamed. So I actually took like an unexpected yoga class. My goal before I go to bed tonight is to stay up a little bit later and to watch all my YouTube videos. I always say that I always never do it, but I really do want to do it because I want to watch some actual shows tomorrow. And YouTube videos tend to be a little bit longer. But I am still reading Sisters of Sword and Song. I think I have a theory about the title now, and I'm curious to see if I'm going to be proven correctly. We're still mostly following Evadine. I'm curious to see if we're gonna get any more point of views from Halicent. I would really, really like that. But I'm gonna go dive into reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit for an update. I did get up to page 136, and some god-like elements occurred that I really enjoyed. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. It's rather late for me. It's 11:27 p.m., but I am really enjoying Sisters of Sword and Song. Like, really enjoying it. I'm on page 176. I'm definitely going to read for another hour. I have 2 longer YouTube videos that I do want to watch, and I'm really close to ending out my Netflix queue, which is exciting. But I'm really liking this book. This book took a really interesting twist with the character of Evadine, which I'm really liking. I'm liking that. It really is diving more into the magic, and she's kind of becoming more connected with one of the mage characters that I'm liking. We are also seeing Halicent's character again, which I am enjoying. Their point of views are so different, so it's really interesting how different they are, and they all kind of fell into these 2 different worlds. I'm curious to see how that's going to go, and you also have the backdrop of all these artifacts that people are looking for, which I think is also super interesting because you kind of find more about that through other of the side characters. I think right now I'm enjoying Evadine's storyline a little bit more, but I'm curious to see where Halicent's storyline is going to go because she's in like a prisoner camp, I guess, and she's kind of has to spend 5 years there making up for the murder she committed. And then Evadine is in the house of the commander, and she's kind of acting as a servant, but then she's getting paired with one of the sons that is still alive. It's a very, very fascinating book, one that I'm really liking. I'm still liking the Greek elements. You could definitely tell that it's inspired by Greek, like ancient Greeks. There's a lot of elements of gods and magic system. The magic system in this book is also really, really cool. I'm liking reading that a lot. It has elements that reminds me a little bit of Percy Jackson with like the writing and like the writing and how you can't write if you're a magician, which I think is so interesting. But yeah, I'm really, really liking this book. I think it's so captivating. And I really wish I would have read her other book as well, because if it's like this, I'm really, really liking this. So I'm going to dive back in, and before I head to bed, I will definitely update you guys. But so far, really, really impressed with this read. Larry here. So it's about midnight, and I am actually going to finish watching my video, and then I'm probably going to head to bed, because I do want to have a good reading day tomorrow. But I did get, sorry, this light's really, really bad. I shouldn't feel like getting up to turning it on. But I did get up to page, I'm going to say I got page 190, which is pretty much my goal. But I'm really liking this book. Now I'm equally invested in both sister storylines, like equally invested. They both have boys or men, I guess, that are coming into their story. And one is connected to the past, and one is, you know, just like a new adventure. But definitely one sister reminds me more of Hunger Games, and the other sister reminds me more of like, I can't think of a character that she reminds me of, but like more of like a servant character that kind of gets wrapped up and caught up into the political life of this character. I think they're both super interesting, and I'm really curious to see where Halicent's character will go, because I still think she's hiding a secret that like maybe affected what happened to her and the person that she killed. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. I definitely I read a lot more than I thought I was going to read tonight, but I'm really happy with that. So I will pop in with you guys tomorrow morning and let you guys know my plans. My plans change daily depending on what is going on in the world and what is going on in my yoga classes, but I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Stay safe, guys. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. I'm definitely doing a later start this morning than I normally do, but a bunch of stuff happened this morning that I just had to take care of. I went for a bike ride. I went to a yoga class. I did some prepping for the blog. I found out that at the time of this recording, the New York City public schools are closed for the rest of the year, which is something that I kind of expected, but it's kind of a little bit heartbreaking knowing I won't see some of my kids ever again. That's sad. My show is definitely canceled at this point. Like, there's no way we can do my show now, and that's upsetting. So yeah, that was kind of what I was doing. I played a little bit of Spyro and a little bit of Animal Crossing, which is something I'm just doing to pass the time. But yeah, I'm about to dive back into my read, which is Sisters of Sword and Song. I'm now on page, like, basically 200. I am loving this book. I love the dynamics between the characters. I love the world. It's a solid standalone, which I'm really liking. And I'm just going to keep reading, and I'm going to read for the rest of the day. I have to watch a couple, like, one long YouTube video, and then I'm going to go back and watch This Is Us. When I'm done with my long true crime video, I will update you guys on where I am on A Sisters in Sword and Song. But so far, definitely a strong read. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm just checking back in. It's about 3 o'clock, and I did wind up reading a little bit more. I did find reading up to page 220 in Sisters of the Sword and Song. I'm really, really loving this book. I'm loving books that have sibling dynamics in them. I recently finished Queen of Air and Darkness, that series. I love the sibling dynamics. One thing I really like about this sibling dynamics is it's interesting because this mission, whatever the mission in this book is, started out with one pair of siblings, and now the other pair of siblings, for various reasons, need to finish it. And I really love a quest element. This book is definitely diving into mythology, definitely Greek mythology, but the Greek gods, it reminds me of Greek mythology a lot. The names are obviously different, and it's like a different concept. I'm loving the magic system in this. I'm loving the dynamics of both characters. I think I feel more connected to Evadine's point of view right now, but I do really like Halicent, like her character. I think it's so interesting, and I hope that we dive into her a little bit more in future chapters. We are still getting both character sides, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really curious to see where this book goes. I know that it's a standalone, and I'm loving that, knowing that by the end of this book we'll have a complete story. I've been craving that a little bit recently. So I'm going to dive back into my book and finish read. I'm going to keep reading, and when I feel like I have something to say, I'll update you guys. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Lori here. I'm back just to do a small update. It's about 5:30. I did have lunch. I did watch one episode of This Is Us, which I'm really liking. It's getting very, very interesting. I'm loving how they're having so many different points of contact. Like, so we're seeing the family in so many different time periods that I really like it. Like, they've added a couple of more time periods, which are super interesting, which makes the first episode of the season make a lot more sense. Really liking that. But I'm also really liking Sisters of Sword and Song. I think I'm, like, equally liking both girls. I think I still like Evadine a little bit more just because her storyline's a little bit more action-packed and a little bit more adventure-based, but I'm curious to see what happens to Halicent's side of the story. I'm really liking it. Like, it's very much like an adventure-based, like a quest story. It's getting to that point. I'm loving the magic system. It's a very small cast of characters, but between both sides of the story, I think it's nice and fleshed out the characters that we're dealing with. So I'm gonna go watch a quick video, and then I'm gonna go back to watching This Is Us. I want to have like 20 minutes to like really devote to this. But I will see you guys when I come back after that 20-minute video and give you guys a quick update about where I am. Bye, guys. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. It's about 8:11. I did read a little bit more of Sisters of Sword and Song. Really liking this book. Still really enjoying it. Loving both perspectives. I really can't say enough about this. I like that romance is not the focus in this book. I think that that's really interesting. I do predict that some romantic entanglements might be upcoming. I wish we saw a little bit more of Halicent's life in the camp because I thought that dynamic was super interesting. I also really am dying for the characters to return and see each other. It kind of reminds me of the feeling I had during the entire Game of Thrones series when I was like waiting and waiting and waiting for all the Stark children to like be in one room together. It's kind of reminiscent of that, but I'm loving the world building. I'm loving the characters. I think it's just such a fun, engaging read with some really strong world building that is very reminiscent of like Greek theater and like Greek heroes and that stuff. Really, really liking it. I'm also almost done with This Is Us. I have to watch one more episode, which is a big improvement of me since when I started this like couple of months, not even before quarantine. I was like 14 episodes behind. So I only have one more to left, which is amazing. And then I'm probably going to choose another show to watch or like one on Hulu. I always have one Hulu show going, one Disney Plus show, and one Netflix show. So once I finish this, I will be done with that, which is exciting. But I'm going to go back to reading and I will update you guys when I get to page 300. Right now I'm on page 291. So I'll probably update you guys when I get up to page like 350. I hope to be tonight. That would be exciting for me. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm just checking back in. I did want to finishing This Is Us season 3. That was amazing. I have so many predictions for season 4. We'll definitely be watching it in a more timely fashion than I did this past season. But I'm happy to be caught up. I did get up to book 2 or book 3 in this book, so I'm right on page, let's see, I think I started it, but I think I'm on page like 314, 315, which is actually pretty good. This book only has like, it has almost 500 pages. I think it's like 450. So I definitely am going to read the rest of this tomorrow. That's like my major goal. I'm going to go pick a new TV show that I want to focus on. I think it's going to be something without commercials, but I also still have to pick something to watch tomorrow because I finished This Is Us. So I'm going to go decide what that is, but I will check in with you guys tomorrow morning where I will have, hopefully by the time I check in, maybe have read 50 more pages of this. So that's my goal. But yeah, hopefully I will check in with you guys a little bit earlier than I did today, and I will talk to you guys for my Sunday reading vlog. Bye guys. Hey, it's Lori here. It's about 12:30. I did actually do a bunch of my errands this morning. I played Animal Crossing, I played Spyro, took my Instagram photos, I went to a yoga class, I went for a bike ride. I did all my little errandy things. I actually think I'm gonna go read outside for a bit because it's really, really nice weather, and I rarely ever get to do that, at least recently. So I'm actually gonna go read outside for about like 20 to 30 minutes, but I am still reading Sisters of Sword and Song. I am on page 314, which I'm definitely think I'm doable to finish this read today. That's my goal. Also, next week I am participating in the Reading Rush Readathon. I have to, at some point today, choose my TBR for that. But I'm really, really liking this book. I'm curious to see where the book progresses. It's definitely hit like a moment of the book where I'm really curious to see how the book is going to like wrap up overall. But I'm going to go read and I will come back when I read for about like 30 minutes outside. Bye guys. Lori here. I'm back. I did actually wind up getting to page 350 in Sisters of Sword and Song. Really liking this book. This plot of this book has been the most strongest plot I definitely have read by far this year. Not perhaps the strongest world building, but I really do like the world building. It's just not my favorite, but the plot of this book, the characters in this book, I think it's such a solid standalone story. I obviously haven't got to the end yet, but I think it's a very, very solid understanding of it. Really, really enjoying it. I'm going to go read 50 more pages, and I think I'm going to start Gifted. It was a show that I started a couple of years ago, and I think I still have one season left. I think I'm going to start watching that. Hopefully try to finish that today. It's about 1:30. I doubt I'll finish all the episodes, but I at least want to try. But I'm going to be reading this in the background, so I will update you guys when I get up to page 400, and that will probably be closer to the end of it, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts at that point, and then, yeah, that's my plans for right now. It is Easter Sunday, but due to quarantine life, we really can't do anything. We can't have any family and friends over, so I'm just going to be reading and watching some TV, and I'll update you guys when I make some progress or have something to share. Bye, guys! Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's about 6:12. I took like a very long break. I went to go have Easter dinner with my family, and then I went to go play the game Funkoverse Harry Potter version with my dad, who we bought a few board games this week and we just wanted to test them out. My goal is to tackle the rest of Sisters of Sword and Song before the end of the evening, so I'm going to make that my priority. Still really liking this book, still really enjoying it. Definitely going to be a 5-star read right at this moment. I'm on page 384 and I have to get up to page like 450, so I'm going to make this my priority. I'm going to watch something that's kind of like background noise, and then I'm going to start prepping for next week, which is technically spring break. so not a lot of work to be done, but still some planning stuff. Mostly I'm just going to get my reading life in order, which I haven't done this week. So when I do that and when I finish Sisters of Sword and Song, I will come in and check in with you guys. Bye! Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. I did wind up finishing Sisters of Sword and Song by Rebecca Ross. Really wound up enjoying this book. This book is definitely a 5-star read for me. I loved it from page 1 to the last page. I rarely ever read standalone books, like other than contemporaries. I read a lot of standalone contemporaries, like more often, but I rarely ever read fantasy series that are standalone. This one super impressed me. Like I'm definitely gonna go back and read Rebecca Ross's previous series, The Queen's Rising and The Queen's Resistance. This book really, really surprised me. I love both characters. I love the setting. I love the world building. I loved how rich this world was, and I really love the plot. This plot was so complicated, but so well crafted, and I really loved everything from start to end. I thought it was such a fascinating read. There is some romance in this, but I don't think romance is the heart and soul of this book. I think that it's more of a book about friendship and sisterhood, and it has a very, very strong quest element. I think the quest element was probably my favorite part of this story. There was a very, very strong quest element, and then there was another element that followed Hallison's character. But I really wound up liking this book. Definitely a 5-star read for me. If you like books, I think it has a lot of mythology elements. So if you like books that have like a quest, like Percy Jackson, I think you'd like this. And I really love the characters. I think that their dynamics and their relationship was super well crafted. I don't have sisters myself, but I'm an only child, but I think the dynamics that she really represented in this story I think is really realistic of what I've heard about my friends from having sisters. It's not always a perfect relationship, but I really like these characters a lot. I love the couple of male characters that we wound up meeting in this book. I love the family. I just really, really loved it. I'm so happy I picked this book up. It's definitely going to be one of my favorite reads of April by far. So I'm gonna go do a little bit of planning for tomorrow for my book from my blog, do a little bit post, and then I'm gonna go choose my next read. And then I might wind up ending this reading vlog tonight, and starting a new one tomorrow. But I'll talk to you guys when I decide what I'm gonna read next. Bye. Hi guys, Laura here. I'm here to wrap up this reading vlog. It is Sunday. It is about 9 o'clock. But I actually just want to wrap up this reading vlog. I did wind up finishing one complete book this weekend, and I did wind up finishing one audiobook. The book was Sisters of Shadow and Song. I really, really love that book. I gave it 5 stars. It was definitely the first fantasy book in a while that captured me from page 1. I love the world building. I love the characters. I love the point of view. I said previously in like an earlier clip, I haven't read a standalone fantasy book in a while, and this one was really one that I really thoroughly enjoyed. This book does come out in June. It is from Rebecca Ross, the author that wrote The Queen's Rising and The Queen's Resistance, which I still have not read, but it is high on my TBR. I actually have book 1 on my shelf. Got it from Comic-Con a couple of years ago. But I actually wound up really, really liking that book, and I was finally happy to dive into Tales of Beetle and the Bard and listen to the new audiobook that Audible released. So if you are an Audible member, go check out that book because it was super fun, super short, but actually a really, really good book for like if you're working from home and you need something like quick to listen to. Very, very good. So I'm gonna go start my next reading vlog, and I will talk to you guys for my next one. Bye. Stay safe and stay healthy, guys.